Superman smashes the Klan. Issue 3 sees Clark remember a time when he went to the circus with Lana on a rainy day. Clark reassures his parents who tagged along that it's not a date and they are best friends as they head into the big tent, going inside and watching the wonderful trapeze artists and animal acts. Soon the strongest man in the world comes out, the mighty Samson, who lifts baskets full of clowns above his head to the amazement of the crowd. The storm outside causes a thunderstrike to hit the tent, setting it ablaze and causing chaos within. Clark rushes to help Samson, who is set upon by a lion, but luckily Clark stops the lion, holding it at bay. Later, Clark shares a soda with Samson, who is impressed with the young man's strength, saying that he's got a real future as a circus performer. Clark says that he's always been scared of what people will think of him if they saw what he could do, and Samson says that he had that same problem, but overcame it with a costume. The more colourful, the better. The next morning, Martha reveals that she had made a costume for Clark, adorning it with the symbol that was on the alien phonograph machine that came with him in his rocket. Martha felt that it was right to put it on, despite Jonathan not wanting it on the suit, and she says that it looks like an S in a funny diamond shape, so he should let people believe that. That day, Clark became a strong man, just like the ones in the circus, only he helps people. In the present, Superman races up the side of the Daily Planet to stop the burning globe, adorning it as Jimmy and Roberta arrive in town, rushing to the building but soon hiding from a truckload of Klan members who are escaping from it. As they pass, Roberta rushes inside to the planet, knowing that the people need their help. Superman puts out the fiery globe with his super speed, rushing inside to see if everyone is okay and learning that the Klan came in and tied them all up. Roberta and Jimmy soon arrive as Superman learns that the Klan took Perry, Lois and Inspector Henderson as hostages, but the reporters don't know where they went. Roberta, however, soon finds a clue left by Lois, who wrote the letters WJ in lipstick on the floor. Roberta has a hunch, thinking that the initials belong to William Jennings, her father's creepy co-worker. Superman wonders if he's tied to the Klan, and Roberta says that he most surely is, as Jimmy looks up his address, giving it to Superman, who races off across the city. Tommy and Chuck meanwhile find the blown up Unity house, wondering where Roberta is, learning from a nearby firefighter that she is safe with Superman and was probably taken home. Relieved, Tommy and Chuck leave, and Chuck wonders that while what happened to the house was bad, was it really terrible to live around one's own kind? Tommy demands to know what he means by that, but the boy says that he's just trying to make sense of things. Tommy thinks that Chuck wants him gone back to Chinatown, but Chuck says that all he wants to know is if his family isn't evil. Tommy says that the Unity house was the first place where he was able to actually play real baseball and not just pickup games, where the players had matching jerseys and caps, and while he never actually played a proper game with them, he still wanted to be part of them, which is why he helped Chuck learn the fastball, since he wanted them to win. But now he thinks that Chuck is saying that they aren't on the same team. Chuck doesn't know what he's saying, but Tommy leaves, taking off his baseball cap. Elsewhere, Lois, Perry and Henderson are told by the Klan that they are going to be taught a lesson for interfering with their business. The Grand Scorpion says that rats like them are why good, honest Americans have to wear masks just to say what they really believe. Henderson wants Lois and Perry to be let go and they can do whatever they want with him, but the Grand Scorpion is planning on doing whatever they want regardless, as he unsheathes a sword, saying it's an artifact of the Clan of the Fiery Kross and has been used in many past rituals of them. Lois, however, spots the cheap price tag on the sword, making the captured reporters and police officer laugh, angering the Klan leader, who intends on slashing Henderson with a weapon, but Superman's timely arrival prevents that from happening. The Grand Scorpion attacks Superman, but the sword shatters on the Man of Steel's chest. The Klan try to punch him, but again their attacks are futile. Superman merely flicks one of them, knocking him into the others as Lois uses part of the sword to free herself. The Klan tries to attack Superman all at once, but he quickly dispatches them, knocking one into a candle stand that sets his cloak on fire. Henderson rushes to put the man out, using a Klan flag to douse the flames. The Klan member isn't too happy with Henderson touching him, picking up a torch and trying to set the officer on fire, but Henderson knocks him out with one punch. Later, the Klan are all rounded up and put in the back of a truck as Perry gives Henderson his badge back. Henderson is upset since he worked hard for the badge, but Perry says that it's just a badge, it's not what makes the police officer. However, Henderson knows that not everyone in Metropolis sees it that way. Superman meets with Jimmy and Roberta, saying that while they put themselves in danger, they did help him greatly. As Lois and Henderson continue to do their jobs despite what happened to them, Superman confronts the Grand Scorpion, having a mind to hurt the man, but the Scorpion says that if he is killed, 100 men will take his place. Superman says that he will bring them all to justice as well, but the Scorpion realizes he doesn't get it, since the Klan isn't a group, it's a conviction that's about the strong and pure America. He says Superman is one of them, but Clark knows that he's nothing like the man, who wants to know how he got his powers exactly, knowing that however he did, he knows it wouldn't have worked on someone inferior to a white man. He knows that this is the reason that his nephew Chuck admires him and why the whole country admires Superman. The Man of Steel throws the man into the back of the truck, grabbing it and taking it to the prison, where the men are led inside by the guards, told by one of them that they will be let go soon, since the guards are part of the Klan as well. Superman returns Roberta home, finding she isn't feeling sick thanks to his soft landing. She wants to ask Superman a personal question, wondering if defying gravity isn't so much him leaping as it is him flying. Superman wonders what she's getting at, so Roberta says that maybe he's not even doing it consciously, but he's limiting himself for some reason and she can feel it. She has a theory as to why he wants to fit in better. Roberta says that Superman wants everyone to believe that he's just a better version of a human, but she knows that he can do things entirely different from what humans can do, like fly, but holds back because of what people might think of him, since they might stop calling him Superman. Superman never tried thinking of it like that and never paid any mind to it, but Roberta says that every once in a while you've got to mind yourself. Roberta says that she wishes it was okay for Superman to fly as the hero takes off, leaving the girl to think that she said something wrong. Clark races back home to Smallville, hugging his parents and telling them that no matter what happens, he promises that he will always be family to them. He races off, heading to Lake Solitude, where upon diving in, he looks for the phonograph he threw in years before, only finding it's cracked open and poured a crystal-like structure out of it, which leads Clark to find a giant underwater crystal cave. Going inside, he is soon greeted by Jor-El and Lara. In the morning, Matt Riggs is let loose from jail, heading to a Klan's safe house where he meets with the Grand Imperial Mogul, telling them that the Klan is in danger and must send for the special people in their unit. The Mogul is revealed to be Dr. Wilson, who is angered that Riggs attacked the Daily Planet. He gets even more upset after learning that Superman and the police are involved as well, angered since this gives them bad publicity ahead of their membership drive, which thanks to Riggs has now cost them thousands. Elsewhere, the Lees sit down for a traditional breakfast, celebrating the arrest of the Klan as well as Mr. Lee quitting his job since he doesn't believe in what the organization is doing with their mission. Tommy thinks that they are moving back to Chinatown, but his mother reassures him that they will be staying. The doorbell soon rings and Roberta goes to answer it, finding it to be Lois Lane, who gifts her a writing pen, saying that it can be the most powerful thing in the world. She tells Roberta if she is interested in journalism, she should come by the planet since they could always use another cub reporter. Roberta says she might just do that since her father is without a job now. Lois wonders why Mr. Lee left his job, learning about the health department's mysterious mission and telling Roberta that she might have just found her first lead. In the mysterious cave under Lake Solitude, Clark confronts his alien mother and father, learning that they are just a memory projection, but they are there to offer hope, since that's what the symbol adorning their chest signifies. They reveal it's the family crest as well, and Clark's birth name is Kal-El, who comes from the planet Krypton, which is similar to Earth in many ways, but also different in just as many. Jor-El and Lara discovered the planet was doomed, so building a rocket, they sent their only son along with a phonograph to Earth, telling him through the device to find a home, love, trust, and hope, and become bound by them. The rocket lands in Kansas, where the baby is found by Jonathan and Martha Kent. Jor-El says that their blessings for their son have come true and he found a home, and Lara says that he is part of humanity and always will be, but he will also be part of them as well. Roberta meanwhile runs down her first lead, looking through her father's old suitcases in the basement, finding a mysterious round orb and her father's journal. She reads it, learning of the health department's secret mission, run by Dr. Wilson. Wilson meanwhile wonders what Riggs has been doing with all the money he's been getting from running the Klan, but Riggs says that he doesn't care for money, only wanting to purify America. Wilson doesn't believe that Riggs buys into all that crap, showing him that the Klan is all about making money off of foreigners like Dr. Lee, and once in a while someone comes along with the power power to break out of their role, which is what Wilson did when he founded the health department to guard against the greatest threat ever, Superman. Wilson knows that Superman will soon try and take over the world, as he shows Riggs his lab containing a stasis tube with Atom Man in it, which he's been using to test kryptonite weapons with. Roberta reads on, learning that Wilson was a Nazi scientist who tested a mysterious green rock, eventually designing the Atom Man, which was quickly defeated by Superman, but he took note of the green rock's effect on the Man of Steel, using his influence to transport the Atom Man to the health department, where he began running his tests and extracting the kryptonite from his blood. Riggs notes that the weapons are heavy, learning that they are lined with lead to contain the kryptonite's radiation. Roberta knows that the orb she found is made of lead as well, so opening it she finds kryptonite inside. She realizes her father left his job after meeting Superman, realizing he wasn't a threat to humankind like the health department thinks. Wilson meanwhile says that he thinks Superman is from outer space, since he is weak to space rock. Points one of the weapons he has at Riggs, saying that he's a fool for thinking the world is divided by race, when really it's divided by power. Power he now has. As the gun whirls to life, Riggs attacks, calling him a traitor to his race as he strangles Wilson to death. Later on at Metropolis Park, the Unity House competes against the Gotham City Boys Club for the Delaware Bay Youth Championship. Roberta excitedly drags her brother to the game, but Tommy isn't really that interested, wondering when she became a baseball fan. He soon gets his answer as Roberta waves excitedly to Jimmy, soon joining some of the other kids and making friends with Joan and Alexandra. Mr. and Mrs. Lee soon arrive, greeted by Henderson, who they thank for saving them from the Klan. Lois Lane arrives also and Roberta goes to see her, but she is grabbed by someone who rips her jacket, kidnapping her away from the crowd. As the first pitch is about to be thrown in the game, the Grand Scorpion takes to the field with Roberta, calling for the people of Metropolis to stand up against the other races, and that they are currently supporting Metropolis's festering impurity. Henderson tries to stop him, but a fellow officer stops him, pointing his gun at Henderson since he doesn't have a badge. Chuck confronts his uncle, who thinks that he is there to join him, but Tommy tells him to let go of his sister. The Scorpion points a laser gun at the boy, but Chuck uses a bat to smash it from his uncle's hands, letting Roberta free him as Tommy smashes the Scorpion in the face. The villain cannot believe that his nephew would side with others over his own family, but Chuck knows that his uncle is just evil. The Scorpion grabs his giant laser cannon, powering it up, but suddenly he is stopped by a heat vision blast from the arriving Superman. The onlookers are amazed that Superman is now somehow flying, soon beginning to call him a monster and demon. Clark begins feeling their fear, but soon he sees Lois, who is idly fearless and knew she would never be afraid of him, which is why he fell in love with her. The Scorpion demands Superman tell the people who he really is, so the hero does, telling them that he is an alien from Krypton, but he is still a citizen of Metropolis. Scorpion tries to say that the Klan was protecting them from things like Superman, and some of the people believe him, with others still believing in Superman. Scorpion fires his kryptonite cannon at Superman, weakening the hero. Roberta remembers the orb she found, knowing it is made from lead that will stop the radiation, so she tosses it to Superman, who shoves it up the end of the cannon, overheating it and causing it to explode. Superman's strength soon floods back to him as Henderson overpowers the officer covering him. Superman tells Scorpion to surrender, but the insane man reveals a bomb strapped to him. As it's activated, Superman grabs him, flying high into the air and freezing it with his newly discovered freeze breath. Scorpion calls the Man of Steel a fool, wondering why he fights for a family of Chinese people. Superman says that where he comes from, they take care of their own, and the Lees are part of that. Scorpion thinks that he has been brainwashed and there's nothing that binds them to the Lees, but Superman says that they are all bound together by the future, since they all share the same tomorrow, a future Riggs can have once he's paid for his crimes. Scorpion suddenly slashes Superman with a kryptonite knife, causing them to fall from the sky, but at the last moment, he regains his power, saving them both. Heading to the ground, Superman meets with Lois, who has questions, and this time Superman is happy to answer them over coffee. Tommy comes to find Jimmy and Roberta, knowing that the game will need to be rescheduled, but Jimmy doesn't want to waste the day and wants to play anyway. They call in Chuck to come join them as Jimmy asks if Roberta will be their pitcher after the fastball she threw at Superman. Later on, Roberta heads to the Daily Planet, meeting Clark, who is saddened that he missed out on seeing Superman in action and getting one of the biggest stories of the year. He learns Roberta is there to see Lois, who is in her office and apparently in a good mood. Roberta Roberta goes to see Lois, saying that she came to give her the pen back since it's too expensive. Lois tells her to keep it since she was serious about her being a cub reporter. Besides, the pen has her initials on it. Roberta learns that when Lois was writing the articles on the Lees, she learned Roberta's real name, Lan Jin Lee, who soon becomes a cub reporter for the Daily Planet, working hard to make Metropolis her home, just like Superman did. Superman Smashes the Klan issue 3 was an utterly fantastic conclusion to the flawless and amazing series that touched upon some very real topical subjects in a very timely way, as well as reiterating aspects of Superman's origin and a character that make him my favorite superhero. I loved everything about this issue and the subject of being able to be comfortable with yourself and in your own skin and around other people, and it was a fantastic way for our characters to learn more about themselves and a great way to adapt Superman's origin in a really creative and unique way that separates itself from other origins. As a miniseries, it's fantastic, but if the chance was to happen, I'd love for a limited series follow-up with Jean Yang and Girihiru exploring more of this 40s era timeline, since I think there's a lot of really great and timely stories you could tell with it. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. A 10.